Hey everyone. So, the first story that I want to talk about with you guys today is about change and personal growth. So, if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you would have seen that I posted about this already in my story. I just wanted to reiterate that here so that everyone can kind of hear this piece too, because I think it's really important. So, my mum had a really interesting encounter with some boys from high school. And from my high school, sorry. And they said to my mum, is Valerie okay? Like, what's going on with her? She's posting all this weird spiritual stuff. Like, is she okay? That's not like her at all. They were questioning whether my mum was proud of me. And it just was so fascinating to me because I wasn't offended. And I've said that numerous times and I mean it, because that doesn't offend me that people associate what I love and the things that I do with being weird or strange. I mean, each to their own. But the piece that stuck with me with that, and this is what I want to touch on today, is about change. I've been out of high school nearly 10 years now. And it's just crazy to me that people think that you can't change in the space of 10 years. 10 years is such a long time. And I just find that belief so limiting. And I feel like a lot of it comes from this place of the fact of asking me if I'm okay, and kind of I never used to be like that. It's almost coming from this place as if there's this shame and there's judgment and this space where if you're still with the same groups of people that you were when you were younger, that you can't grow within that and you can't be different, because that being different is going to be met with rejection. And there's a lot of people that I've let go of in my life since I was in high school, because we're not an energetic match anymore. And that's okay. It was sad, but it was also brilliant as well, because I just realized that we weren't a match. And some people were hurt by that and didn't understand it. And at the time, this kind of happened pretty early on in my journey. So I guess it would have come across as quite brutal, but I just knew in myself that some of these relationships that I let go of weren't the ones that were for me. And other ones have kind of just drifted naturally, but I'm sure if I saw them, there would be no hard feelings, which I love. But this one particular interaction just was so interesting, because there's a lot of shame that we must, or that some people must put on us, put on themselves, for wanting to be different, for wanting other things. And there's almost this old paradigm belief of the fact that you can't change. But I don't know that to be true. I used to think that. I used to always think that people can't change, that deep down they're always going to be that same person that they are. But I don't believe that at all. That's not my truth now, because if that was my truth, that's me saying that I'm not different. But I am. I'm myself. This is me now. And I'm not the same person that I used to be. The person that I used to be was someone that just adapted to social norms of high school and just out of high school, and adapted to the single fun party life, and then she adapted to being someone in a relationship, and then I just was someone that kind of latched onto an experience, and then I just created that person from there. And then when I would leave those experiences, I almost was I don't even know what's left now, because I just chameleoned myself into whatever was going on in that connection. And then now that I don't have it anymore, I'm well, I don't know who the fuck I am. And I used to run. It was my favorite thing to do. I used to run. I found traveling just a massive escape to just be all these random facets of myself that weren't really myself. They were mostly just the stories that I used to tell myself that I was. So I would go traveling, and then I would be, the person that's interested in this, but then I'd also be the person that likes to party and have fun, but then I'd be the person that likes time by themselves, but then I'd be the person that loves to be the center of attention. And I just was so lost and confused. But in those times, I found people that accepted me and still to this day accept me for exactly who I am. And oh, my heart feels really full right now. I feel so blessed for those people. And I had so many people reach out to me on Instagram, especially like after I posted this story about this interaction, and everyone was like, I can't believe that. Like, and I said, I know. And a few people did say that, how rude. And I was like, I don't even find it rude. I just see it as more so like that's their feelings, that's their thoughts, that's their projection. So I'm not in control of that. But what I just found interesting was the fact that like people are baffled that I've changed. And I think there's almost in something that people are just baffled that people can change anyway. And it's in that like we make people uncomfortable. Like I clearly make people uncomfortable, but that sits fantastic with me, because in making people uncomfortable, that means I'm making people stir. I'm making people think. I'm making people laugh and joke about me, but they're joking about me because I'm different and that I've changed and that I'm a new person. Like, I want people to talk about that. Like, send that energy vibrationally out into the world. Like, yeah, let's go tell everyone. Like, go talk about me. Go spread my legacy that I've changed and that I'm different. You call it weird and strange. I call that growth. I call that expansive, because it doesn't look one way, because it looks exactly the way that I created it to be. And it's also this massive container that keeps expanding every single day. And that's the best part. So there's almost this lack, and there was a few times when people were like commenting on things, and I knew that it was a dig because of like the way that we was in high school. So like, I'm not silly. Like, I know these things, but I don't care. And it's really awesome because when you work on yourself and you find that self-worth and that love for yourself, and you trust yourself, and then you know yourself, and I constantly am shifting into the highest version of myself. And I see her, and every day that I don't feel like I'm in alignment with her, I shift it and I be her. And she isn't someone that cares about what other people think. She doesn't care that other people may laugh at her behind her back and making jokes about her, that she's like the punchline of a joke. I mean, I could be memes for all I know, but like, that's cool. Oh man. It's just so funny to me, because I used to be someone that would care so much about this. Like, if I heard people talking about me, or like if people didn't like me, like I used to genuinely take that really personally. And I don't anymore, because I don't care. Because to me, that's people being uncomfortable with me, and then that's them talking about it, and then there's my energy out in the world. There's my energy just trickling in on everyone and being like, oh, she changed. Is change possible? Isn't that so weird that she's changed? And then I feel like, and what I choose to believe is that from that sends out the belief that like people can change. Might look a little strange, but they can, and it's possible. And it doesn't have to look this one way. Like, there's so many different ways that people can change, and people don't know my story. I mean, if people ask me, I would be more than willing to tell them. And that's why I love the idea of this space that I have now here, is to be able to share that and to answer questions. And I'm not ashamed of anything that's happened. I'm not coy about anything either. Like, this shit was hard work. And I've now found an easier way, I suppose, to navigate it, and kind of ways to help others get there, but not have to maybe do all the same shit that I did. Like, there's this old paradigm way of thinking that you need to deal with all your shit in order to like be this highest version of yourself. No. You just need to remember who that highest version of yourself is, and then every day you choose to just be her. It's just choice. And that's what I do every day, is that I choose to be that version of myself. And every day that I do that, it has no bearing on me that like the perception of others, or people trying to shame me, or people trying to judge me, or anything like that, because my highest version does not care about that. She says, talk about it. Talk about me. Spread my legacy around the world. I don't care. Send pictures of me, make me a meme, you know, screenshot this, screenshot that, send it out to everyone. Comment on this, comment on that. That's sharing the story. That's spreading my legacy. And that's the truth that I choose to believe. And that's the truth that I choose every day. And it's something that comes from a place of love for me. And I love that. And I hold no grudges against anyone, or it just doesn't feel right for me. Because I just hold love for these people, because I feel for people that feel like change isn't possible. And I want those people to know that it is. And that doesn't have to look the same for you as it did for me. It just means that if there's something in life, or there's an aspect of yourself that you don't feel like is in alignment with you, or an energetic match for you anymore, like, it's okay to let that go. And that the past things and everything that you've done, and the experiences you've had, or the connections you've had, you know, they don't define you. What defines you is the person that you choose to be every single day, day in and day out from this point forward. And it's choice. That's all that it is. It just comes down to choice. And I just really hope that this resonates with people. I hope that this sticks with you, and I hope that you hear this. And just know that if you're not in a place yet where you feel that this is where you're at, or maybe it's a space that you want to be in and you just need to hear that it's possible, I just want everyone to know that I hear you and that I hold space for you. And that I will continue to be my highest vibrational fucking self, because that is going to send vibrational love and energy out into the rest of the world. And then that's what's going to help vibrationally shift the rest of you. And that's what I love about this work with energy, is that it just starts within me and then it just goes outwards. And it's that simple. I hope that everyone has a wonderful day.